Hi, welcome to the Anxiety Doesn't Own Me podcast. My name is Emmanuel Isaacson, and I'm here to help you to heal your anxiety naturally. On today's episode, what we'll be talking about is why is it that we can't just brush off anxiety? Why is it that anxiety, when we have an anxiety disorder, it's just in our face 24/7? Why can't it just go away like everything else has? In the past, when we had to deal with a certain situation, we're able to suppress it. We're able to brush it off. We're able to push it out. We're able to fight it. But when it comes to an anxiety disorder, the more we try to brush it off, the more we try to suppress it, the more we try to fight it, the bigger it becomes. The more we try to ignore it, which is possible only if we keep ourselves busy, right? We always keep ourselves preoccupied. But the second we calm down, the second we try to relax, what happens is that the thoughts start coming back. The symptoms start coming back. We start getting anxiety again. And we're saying, like, why in the world is this thing just not going away? It makes zero sense. And this is what confuses us a lot. And this is what confused me a lot. I said, why is it with this, I can't just push it out or stop thinking about it? And whenever I try to keep myself busy, what happens? It goes away, right? But the second I try to relax, the second I just come home, just sit down on my couch, the flood of thoughts, the symptoms, the feelings, they all come back. They all come back. Even when I try to keep myself busy, it was still there because my anxiety was so intense. It was much less because I was keeping myself busy, but still, it was still there, not as intense. But the second I try to relax, it just comes back. Like, why is this thing just not going away? Why is this thing just not disappearing? Just go away. I don't want it anymore. Well, the reason why is because the difference over here when you have an anxiety disorder and the rest of the things that we have gone through in the past, the difference is that our nervous system over here, our sympathetic nervous system, which is responsible in handling our stress, our worry, our pressure, our fight and fight mode, it's not functioning properly. It's not functioning correctly. It's overloaded. It is right now haywired because of the amount of stress and worry and pressure that we have put on it for years on end, that finally we had a certain event. And that can be anything. For me, it was that I smoked a joint, and that's what triggered my anxiety. And every single person, it can be different. It can be from COVID. It can be from a certain event that they experienced that triggered their anxiety. That was the cherry on top that pushed the sympathetic nervous system into overload. Now, it can't filter out the amygdala anymore. It can't filter it out anymore. And that is the issue. Because our amygdala is perceiving the situations that we are in as dangerous when in reality they are not. And this is why we need to rewire and reprogram our amygdala so that it stops continuously sending signals to our sympathetic nervous system. Because right now it's just working 24/7 and it's believing that everything in front of us is dangerous. And the reason why is because we have been programmed that way. We have been taught that way. Because whenever we are kids, whenever we are born, we weren't born with fear. Kids, if you see children in general, they have confidence. They don't care what anybody else thinks about them. They just are. They're just being the way they are. But what happens is that whenever we get older, we're taught different fears. And we're taught more negativity. No, don't do this. This is dangerous. You have to be safe. You have to be vigilant. These people are like this. We're all constantly given negativity. And again, we're not blaming anybody else. We're not blaming them because that's where they have been programmed. But what happens is that since we're kids, growing up, we've been programmed a certain way. So our amygdala right away thinks that, hey, we're in a dangerous situation. This is something bad. You got to be careful. You got to protect yourself. So it's sending out signals 24/7 to your sympathetic nervous system. But beforehand, your sympathetic nervous system was able to handle these signals. We're able to filter it out. Was able to control it. But now, since it's haywired, it can no longer control it. It can no longer contain these signals anymore and try to control it, and it just let loose. And now we are experiencing all of these symptoms, all of these thoughts, all of these feelings, and we can't control it, and we can't seem to get rid of it. We can't seem to push it out, to throw it out, to try to ignore it. And the more we try to keep busy, the second we try to relax, boom, it comes back. So whenever people tell you, oh, busy is going to help, no, busy doesn't help. Yeah, it's great to be busy. We need to keep ourselves occupied. It is healthy, but it's not the solution to the problem. Because as you see, the second you try to relax, it all starts flooding back. It all starts flooding back. And you say, what, I have to be like this 24/7, keep myself busy 24/7? And the second the weekend comes, the weekend is like the worst. We don't enjoy the weekend because we have nothing to do. We prefer working on the weekend, keeping ourselves busy on the weekend. We will do anything that we can in order for us to keep ourselves busy. But what we really need to do is deal, again, it's good to keep busy, but we need to deal with the actual issue. We need to reprogram the amygdala. That's what we need to do, reprogram the amygdala so that it stops sending signal to our sympathetic nervous system, so that our sympathetic nervous system can have a break, can actually repair itself, can actually heal itself, so that we can actually start feeling better. But if we're continuously not trying to reprogram ourselves, we are continuously going to have pressure on our sympathetic nervous system. We're going to continuously feel this way, and we are not going to be able to handle our anxiety and life, and we're just going to be paralyzed by it. So the first thing that we need to do is reprogram the amygdala. That's the first thing that we need to do. So whenever we're thinking about a negative situation, a dangerous situation, let's say something in the future or a situation that we're in right now, whatever it is, we want to change that narrative from whatever we've been taught, the negativity, which can be coming from your parents, teachers, social media, news, television, whatever it is. It can come from anywhere that can program you. We've been programmed by so many different people, and a lot of people that are fake, like for example, TV shows that are just not real. It is an old fake scenario that makes us believe, that makes it seem as if it's real, right? That has influenced us. It has influenced us. So we want to reprogram ourselves and change the narrative that's in our mind, to change the way we look at a situation. Instead of thinking whenever I go to a certain place that something bad is going to happen, we want to say, okay, what good can actually happen? What good can actually happen? Let's be hopeful. Let's be more positive about it. This way, we're able to reprogram the amygdala so that it can no longer have an influence, so that it can no longer send a signal to the sympathetic nervous system whenever we're not in a dangerous situation. And again, the amygdala, it's doing its job. There's nothing wrong with you. You have to understand that a lot of us feel as if there is something wrong with us. There is nothing wrong with you. It's just we've been programmed this way. Your body, your mind is working accordingly to a dangerous situation. It is working properly. But again, it's setting a signal whenever there's nothing dangerous so that it can protect us, but there's nothing to be protected from. That is the thing. There's nothing to be protected from right now whenever we or even in the future, whenever we want to go somewhere. We might think to ourselves, but hey, I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I have no idea. I just want to make sure that I'm safe. But ask yourself, and this is something I ask myself. You see, I ask myself a lot of questions. Ask yourself, what is the likelihood of that actually happening? The percentage-wise, 5%, 3%, 1%. What is the actuality? Majority of the people that go somewhere, they are fine. There is a small amount, a tiny amount, and we right away think, I'm going to be that tiny amount. But what if I'm not a tiny amount? What if I'm that 1%? What's the point? Ask yourself, what's the point of focusing on that? Does that really give you joy? Does that really give you happiness? Does that really give you power? It doesn't. It takes away everything in order for you to feel safe. The ROI on it doesn't make any sense. Like, for example, if you had an option, right? Let's say to invest in a business or in a stock, and they tell you, oh, the success rate of that is 1%. Would you invest in that business? No, you would not invest in that business. There's no point. The ROI makes no sense. Like, why would I invest this substantial amount of money when there's a 1% chance of success? It makes no sense. So the same thing over here. Why would you want to focus on that 1%? What is that? What is the chance of that actually succeeding? Why not focus on the 99% where it can actually enjoy, have control, have happiness, and actually not be paralyzed by your anxiety? Let's focus on that. Let's focus on the positivity. That's going to help us to reprogram ourselves, where we're going to stop thinking about all of these negative thoughts and all of these sensations that we have and all these feelings that we have. It's going to help us to reprogram. It's going to help us to feel better. So we want to focus, again, we want to focus on the 99% of nothing bad happening, and we want to reprogram our amygdala and show them that, hey, we are safe. We are fine. There's nothing dangerous over here. So you don't need to send out a signal to the sympathetic nervous system in order to activate the fight and fight mode, which is our anxiety, so that we can actually feel much better and stop having anxiety symptoms, thoughts, and sensations. If you are ready to overcome your anxiety and heal it, I do have a course that you can check out, the link below. And I'm also coming out with a coaching, live event coaching with me as well. You can check the link as well below. You can sign up. The links are in the descriptions. I highly recommend taking advantage of it. It's going to help you to walk you through step-by-step process of what I have done and helped countless people do and show them the way and how to overcome their anxiety. If you did like this episode, please click the like button and leave a 5-star review. The reason why I ask is because I would like to reach more people, because the more people that we can actually reach, the more people that I can actually help, because my mission in this world, my purpose is to help people to overcome their anxiety. That is my passion. And also, if you know somebody that is struggling with anxiety, share this episode with them where they can actually benefit as well. Take care, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.